California, and I'd like to first of all thank everybody for taking some time out of their day today. My name is Nick Blozan. I'm with Huawei's channel marketing organization, and we've got a couple other people on the phone here as well that are going to chime in throughout the presentation. I'd also like to introduce Mitch Cipriano, who's also with the channel marketing team, and we're very honored to have Rob Klaus, who's the Vice President of U.S. Channel Sales and Marketing for Huawei as well. So Rob's here, and he's going to be very involved in the Q&A session at the end. And so as a point of housekeeping, we'd like to encourage you guys to interact with this webinar by answering or asking questions rather in your GoToWebinar interface that you have. There's a Q&A tab, and you can enter in questions, and we'll be answering those questions in real time, and then we'll have a Q&A session at the end as well. We're also going to have some polling questions throughout the webinar, and we really would love it if you'd provide some input on those polling questions, because it gives us a feel for what you guys are looking at. Please interact with that, and we will share the results with everybody in attendance as well, so you can see what everyone's looking at. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. For a lot of parts that we talk a bit about our size and our presence. I think one of the most, we're definitely going to be successful. We're very successful globally, and we're going to make a huge impact in the U.S. market. In addition, from a channel perspective, all the critical elements are in place today for you to be successful. And a lot of what we'll spend time on in this webinar is giving you an overview of what those elements are. In addition, what new elements are coming over the coming months that are really going to make it even better. And then finally, one of the things that we hear from all the partners that we talk to is that when you look at the incumbents, the status quo, the vendors that people have been selling for the last 10 or 20 years, a lot of the issue that they're dealing with is very low margin deals, very competitive deals, and so profitability is a huge issue. And we're going to talk about how you can make profit off of Huawei and how you can really drive your business selling our products. So let's talk a little bit about Huawei as a company and just give you a feel for the scale of investment that we have in R&D. Now, Huawei is about a $35 billion company, give or take, globally, so obviously a very massive organization. But just in terms of R&D alone, we are investing $3.76 billion, and that was the investment in 2011, and that's across 70,000 employees in R&D across 15 R&D centers. When you look at the year-by-year investment, you can see it's ranging somewhere in the 9 to 10 to 11% range. And when your revenue is in the $35 to $40 billion range, that means you're investing billions of dollars every single year in R&D. And so that alone gives you a feel for how significant we are. Now, the other thing I want to mention is just in terms of our participation in organizations. There's a number of organizations that we belong to, IEEE and many others. You can see all the different alphabet soup there. But the bottom line is we've got about 180 folks in our R&D teams that are involved in these standards organizations, and they're involved in some 23,000 related publications that are coming out of these organizations. So we're very involved in standards, we're very involved in driving these standards and participating in them, and that often then flows into what we're doing from a patent perspective. And if you look at our patent portfolio, it's in the tens of thousands with over 25,000 patents granted as of June 2012. So the bottom line here is we have a tremendous investment in R&D, and that allows us to be an innovator. And when we talk about the portfolio of products that we're delivering, which we'll cover in a few minutes here, it'll really give you a feel for how we're able to cover this breadth of products, and it has to do with the money that we're spending in R&D and really driving our product portfolio forward. Now, Huawei has three primary business units: carrier, enterprise, and consumer. From a VAR perspective, this webinar is primarily focused on our enterprise space, which you can see is over a $2 billion business in and of itself, and an average growth rate of over 50%. So this is just a very large part of our business. It's something that's very significant for us, and this is the area where we want to really develop a healthy VAR team, a partnership of VARs that are going to go out and sell our products and help us drive this growth further, particularly in North America. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and take a break and have our first polling question. So Mitch, I'm going to let you go ahead and cover that, and we'll bring that question up right now.
Great. Thanks, Nick. One of the first things we wanted to ask you today is what's your main area of market focus? So are you focused on corporate enterprise, medium business, SMB, educational vertical?
Allowed to to select as many choices as you want. So feel free to select multiple choices here, and we'll get a feel for where your focus is from an overall business perspective.
I always love these because they give me a real good feel for what kinds of businesses you all are focused in, and gives us an idea of where we can add additional support. I also think it's an interesting thing for the attendees because you get to see what the other guys are doing as well.
Wow, we're getting fantastic participation. So thank you very much in the audience for participating in the polls. This is great. We're going to go ahead and close the poll down in about 5 seconds. So if you haven't voted, go ahead. All right, let's go back to the presentation. All right, so let's continue on here. The next thing I want to talk about is really the technological waves of innovation and waves of globalization that have occurred over the last 50 years in various different industries. And what I'm going to do is draw some parallels about what's happened in the auto and the air travel and the cell phone industry to what we're seeing happen in the compute space. So let's talk about cars, first of all. If you remember back in the 70s, the U.S. auto manufacturers, the likes of Ford, General Motors, and so forth, were really the dominant factors here in North America, and there really weren't any other significant players that belonged. And if you wanted to be an auto dealer, it was very difficult to get an auto dealership. You really had a lot of entrenched presence from some of these guys that had had their Ford and GM dealerships for many years. And so what happened was some of these global companies, such as Toyota from Japan, Nissan, Volkswagen from Germany, they started coming into the market, and what that did was a couple of things. First of all, it allowed people who wanted to become an auto dealer to get into the space with a new entrant that previously wasn't an option for them, and so that created new revenue opportunities and new opportunities to generate sales for those businesses. But another interesting thing happened, which is when those things first started happening, many people in the U.S. auto industry space felt like that was going to decimate the U.S. auto industry. And in fact, what we've seen over the last 50 years is a great transformation of the U.S. auto industry. And I don't know about you, but if you've driven any American cars lately, whether it be the new Ford Taurus or a new car from GM, the quality and the level of sophistication within the U.S. auto industry has really driven forward, and in a large part from the pressure that's been provided by this global presence from other auto manufacturers. And
Nick, that's a great point. And one of the things I like to look at is the presence of competition. And competition makes products better. So when companies have kind of a hold on the market, they become complacent. We've seen that in the technology space a lot. For example, what we saw with Internet Explorer and Microsoft. And it wasn't until they had a credible, viable competitor in Firefox did we see Microsoft begin to innovate again. And I think we're seeing some of the same things here in the networking space. So another interesting parallel back to the autos as well.
And you see the same things in the air travel industry when Airbus came in kind of the 80s and 90s. The cell phone industry, which used to be dominated by Motorola until the likes of Nokia and then Samsung and many other cell phone manufacturers have come in. And specifically with cell phones, again, was another very big channel play because you have all kinds of dealers and resellers who are now reselling phones from global manufacturers, and that just provides a lot of opportunity for people to create new businesses and make a lot of money selling these products. And so the final level of innovation and globalization is happening in the compute space, where over the last 20 years we've had some very entrenched incumbents that have built their businesses up. And when we talk to the channel partners out there, what we're hearing is that there's a low margin and a lot of competition and a high expense associated with getting authorized with these various incumbents. And so now what you're going to see is partners like Huawei who are coming into the space, very large, credible companies bringing a breadth of solutions that are going to enable a large new set of VARs to come in at the ground floor and really be able to build up a significant business selling Huawei products. So the next thing I want to talk about is a little bit more detail around this whole ICT convergence, and this is the convergence of information and communication technologies. And what we're seeing drive this is really on the IT side, you're moving from the classic mainframes to client server to now what we're seeing is much more of a virtualized set of environments, cloud-based environments where data centers are housing large numbers of servers. And then from the communication side, you're starting off years ago with the analog devices, moving to digital, narrow broadband, and finally mobile broadband. And so as these two sets of factors are colliding, what you're getting is a massive consumerization. You're getting all kinds of compute power in the cloud, and then obviously the mobility. And one of the areas that Huawei is particularly focused in is the BYOD space, where you have people bringing their own devices into these corporate environments and into the educational space. And Huawei has a fantastic set of solutions that allow you to segment the corporate data from the user data and be able to deal with BYOD in ways that just weren't possible before. So this ICT convergence is really driving a lot of Huawei's product portfolio and our roadmaps, and this is why you now see Huawei calling its whole channel presence ICT Nation, after the likes of some of these football nations, Raider Nation, Steeler Nation. We are now ICT Nation, which we like as kind of a tagline for what we're doing. So let's talk a little bit about Huawei's view of the U.S. market. First of all, the ICT convergence that I spoke about a minute ago is really driving significant new opportunity in the market. And when you look at the product portfolio that we'll talk about in a minute that Huawei offers, it is driving a significant opportunity, and there is room for a new entrant here. In addition, Huawei is delivering this end-to-end product portfolio that I'll mention, and this is offering new players a great way to get involved and be able to sell a breadth of products. And what we're hearing from a lot of partners is that when they're working with an incumbent, they're selling maybe tens of millions of dollars worth of product, but the margins are low and the cost of sale is very high, because not only are you having to have lots of certified engineers, not only do you have to pay out lots of commissions to your salespeople, but combine that with the low margins, and the net profit for a lot of these VARs is actually quite low. And so what we're proposing is that if you look at Huawei, we're going to be able to give you a much higher margin and be able to support you in a way that some of these incumbent companies just can't do. I think the other thing to note, which is very significant, is Huawei's perspective, which is a very long-term perspective. This is not a small company that has to make a quick hit early or else die. Huawei is a multi-billion-dollar company investing multiple billions of dollars in R&D. We're here to stay. We're here for the long term, and this really allows us to create long-term partnerships with VARs that want to invest in us, and likewise we will invest in them. And I think this is the most important thing to note, and this is very much the culture of the company. Now let's talk a little bit about the product and solution portfolio. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail across all these different verticals and across the different product lines, because it's just not the point of this webinar. But in case you aren't familiar with the company, I do want to give you some overview of kind of the areas that we play in. So the bottom line is Huawei offers a comprehensive enterprise business portfolio. And what I mean by that is we've got cloud-based data center, we've got enterprise network infrastructure solutions and unified communication and collaboration, we've got enterprise information security and unified management, and we also support BYOD. And I've talked about how important that is, not only in the education space, but also in corporate America today. People want to use the devices that they use every day, and they don't want to carry 2 cell phones, and they don't want to have to adopt a phone that the company gives them. So this is a critically important thing, and Huawei addresses this.
And let me throw in there that it's probably one of the hottest topics in corporate IT today, is how do I deal with employees bringing their equipment into the environment? How do I deal with the data? How do I deal with protecting my data from their data and their data from my data? And how do I make it all work together? And Huawei has a seamless solution that allows you to penetrate this market and provide solutions to the IT professional trying to solve the BYOD problem in a way that nobody else can.
That's a great point. Now, in terms of some of the verticals that we provide specific solution focus around, it's government, corporate, energy, transportation, education, finance, kind of the usual suspects. But if you take a look at our specific solutions in these verticals, I think you'll find we have some very unique and in some cases exclusive types of solutions that aren't offered by any other vendor. In addition, we're big in the data center space, and in fact we're big on green initiatives. So we've got cloud-based green data center initiatives, and what that means is high-density servers and storage. We're supporting virtual desktop infrastructure with VDI, enterprise network infrastructure, and that includes our high-performance data center network, IP networks, transmission networks, and wireless networks. So, you know, the breadth of devices, the breadth of solutions that we're offering here is vast. And as we say, there'll be many more webinars coming out over the coming weeks and months that dive deeper into each of these areas. But hopefully this just gives you a feel for the types of solutions that we have, the types of verticals that we're attacking, and just kind of what a significant set of offerings that Huawei does deliver to the market today. All right, well with that, we're on to polling question number 2. So again, we'd love your input on this, and I'm going to go ahead and launch that poll to the audience. Mitch, go ahead and take us away.
Yeah, great. Thanks again, Nick. You know, one of the things that we wanted to ask you about, and this is really going to help us drive our partner program, and by understanding what's most important to you. So is it price discounts? Is it training? Is it marketing funds? Is it availability of assets? So things like customizable emails, trade show booth properties, demo equipment, things like that. Or is it deal registration? So let us know what is most important to you, and we'll be tailoring our program long-term to fit exactly what you guys are looking for.
And we do want to be clear that we actually cover all of these things. So what we're trying to find out is what's most important, but certainly all of these things are critical aspects of a great channel program, and our channel program does address all of these. So we'll go ahead and give another 5 seconds here so everyone can vote. And I don't believe the response here is going to be too surprising to anyone. So let's go ahead and share it and show everyone. Go ahead and close out the poll. Okay, can everyone see that? So as you might expect, pricing and discount is of key importance to our resellers and our partners, and no-brainer there, but also interesting, deal registration is very important, and we'll talk about our deal reg program a little bit later and how we're delivering that in multiple ways, especially in the future.
You know, it's interesting. There's a surprise for me here. Generally, when I talk to partners, they are really interested in our marketing funds and how we can help them penetrate their markets and how we can help them get their customers up to speed on our products. And so I'm surprised that marketing funds scored as low as it did.
Well, I believe people think marketing funds are important, but I'm not sure they're considered more important than pricing and discounting. So that's probably the reason there. All right, let's go ahead and move forward then. So let's see here. Hold on one second. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the channel program that's in place today. And I want to be very clear. Is that showing? Let's make sure. Just making sure everybody can see my screen here. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of the enhancements that are coming over the next 2 to 3 months. So first of all, it is crucial to your success and also to our success in North America. We do participate in a lot of trade shows ourselves. Sometimes on the larger shows, we bring partners in to collaborate with us. Other times, we're in our partners' booths. So any of those things are possible. In terms of collateral and overall resources, we've got a wide array of presentations, brochures, a lot of co-branding capabilities, so you can put your logo on our various pieces of marketing collateral. We've got success stories and case studies, so any of that normal stuff that you'd expect you need, we have it, and we'd love you to use it, and we want to share it with you. And we also want to put your logo on our website and promote the fact that you're one of our partners and be able to help promote your business. If you want to be able to demo our products, we have discounted demo equipment available. In addition, if you go into one of our R&D centers, we have various executive briefing centers spread around the country, and we're able to bring your customers into our centers where you can show off the equipment and show off the solutions in action. So those things are all available as well. And we've just recently inked a deal with IBM Financing. So if you need help with financing on larger deals, that's something we can also assist you with. So definitely talk to us about that if that's an opportunity. And then finally, of course, social media, whether it's LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, we have a social media presence, and we can help you with that as well. So that's just an overview of the existing program that's in place. Now let's talk a little bit about what we're doing to enhance this program over the next 3 to 6 months. First of all, I have a slide for this at the end of the presentation, but I just want to announce that Huawei is having its inaugural Partner Summit in Cupertino, May 20th through the 22nd, and I will show a slide on that gives you all the details. But this is going to be a fantastic event and an opportunity for us to really showcase the various solutions in much greater depth, an ability for us to get together with you face-to-face and learn about what your requirements are, what you need from us in order for you to be successful. And in addition, we'll have analyst presentations to give a view of what's happening in the market. We'll have some fun. We'll be going out and doing some fun events and things like that. But this is a summit that we really want our partners to attend. And whether or not you're already an existing partner or you're thinking about becoming a Huawei partner, we welcome you to become part of this. And we will give you some more information about that in a minute. In addition, we have deal registration in place, but what's really new is the way the deal registration is going to be impacting your ability to make more margin on Huawei products. And I'll show you a slide in a minute that shows you directly how registering a deal and based on what level of a partner you are will affect your margin and affect your profitability, because this is critically important. We've also done some consolidation of our price book, and what that means is we've taken the various discounting that's available to our partners and we've baked that into our price book, so you can see exactly what your profit's going to be, how much you can charge your customer in order to win deals. We're going to increase our communications, and this webinar is just one example of that, but you're going to see regular webinars coming out on a monthly basis. You're going to see email blasts and various other, we're going to be introducing our partner portal, which is going to be a way that you can connect up with us and register deals and get the latest and greatest marketing collateral and information about what's going on with the company. We're also having a partner advisory council. Now this is somewhat of an exclusive group, but what we're really focused on with the advisory council is the ability for partners to give us feedback directly in an intimate setting that allows us to understand what they need. And I would say within this council, it'll be about 20% of the time us telling you what's on our roadmap and what's coming, and 80% of the time it's us listening to you to figure out what we can do to make our overall channel program better. How can we help you sell more effectively? What do you need from us in order to be successful? And then also sales and SE training. Now many companies are charging a lot of money for their training. They're making you spend valuable profitability in terms of getting your engineers where they need to be. Right now, Huawei is hungry. We're going to be giving you free training, and that includes both sales and SE pre-sales training and the ability for you to get your professional services guys fully trained and up to speed to deliver services for Huawei solutions. So that's just an overview of what's coming in the marketplace. And really what this all boils down to is, I like this quadrant because it really shows you that, first of all, we do need something from you. And what that is a bit of commitment from your business to be able to focus on Huawei products. And by commitment, we want you to dedicate some sales guys that are going to go out and close some deals with our solutions. We want you to help us generate some leads, and I talked about the fact that we'll assist you with that. But from that point, you're going to be out there pounding the pavement and working with your customers and trying to move Huawei product into your customer environments. Now, what we're going to do to support you is we're going to go with you on those initial sales calls. We're going to give you training so that you feel empowered and capable of articulating the Huawei value proposition, depending on what vertical you're trying to sell into or what kinds of solutions you're looking to sell. And we'll go with you on calls and help you close deals. And these are the kinds of things that we're going to do to support you, in addition to all the marketing collateral and other marketing activities that I talked about. Together, we're going to go in and close some business, and we're willing to work with you on registered deals, on working on pipelines together and understanding forecasts and really figuring out what to do. And in return, what we commit to you is that we will help you close business, we'll help you drive revenue and margin into your business, and we're going to help you build a significant business selling Huawei products. And we also commit to listening to your feedback and continuing to evolve our products and our solutions and our channel marketing programs based on your feedback and what you need. All right, well, that brings us to polling question number 3. And so let's go ahead and take a look at that. And I'm going to go ahead and launch that. Mitch, take it away. Polling question number 3.
Great. So here what we're looking to find out a little bit about is what technology areas do you see as providing the most opportunity for your business going forward? So when you think about this, think about your customer base, your local geography, and what area of technology most drives that. So is it network and switching and routing? Is it storage? UCC and telepresence, is that a growth area for you? Wireless, both LTE as well as Wi-Fi. LTE being one of the real benefits that Huawei can bring you, by the way, is access to an entire suite of LTE product. And then, of course, any other areas. Just take a minute and answer this poll, and we'll share the results.
Fantastic. Really fantastic response, which is much appreciated. And also, please keep your questions coming. I know we're answering those in real time, and we'll have some Q&A at the end. But if you have questions about the channel programs or about Huawei's products or the company, please keep those coming because we want to hear from you. So I'm going to go ahead and close the poll out, and I'm going to share with you the results. Okay, so you can go ahead and see the results now. One of the interesting thing here is that the majority of people have their primary interest in storage, and that's an interesting result for us. And also very strong is the typical networking and switching and routing, and then also wireless, which is a huge focus, as Mitch mentioned as well. So that's kind of interesting results from the poll. So let's go ahead and head back to the presentation. All right, so let's plow ahead here. So what I want to do is just give you a bit of a recap of the overall Huawei channel program as it exists today, and allow you to see what we're expecting from you and what we're going to give you in return. And then I'll have a slide that specifically deals with the actual discounting to give you an exact feel of exactly how much margin you can make depending on what level you are in our program. So we have 3 levels of partner, and that goes from the authorized to silver and gold. So these are the 3 levels of our channel program that we have. You can see in the authorized, which is the lowest level of partner that's in our program, we're really only asking you to have 1 sales guy who's certified who can pitch the products. You don't have to have any pre-sales engineers certified. Really, we're just looking for the most minimal commitment so that you can go out and articulate our solutions. As you move up into silver, we do have a sales target that we're looking for, which is $750,000. And now we want you to have a couple of sales guys and a couple of pre-sales engineers that can go out. As you hit the silver level, you really start to be able to drive your own deals. You're starting to be able to go out and work your opportunities. Of course, we'll still be there to help you, but your ability to work it becomes much greater. And now you're starting to accrue some co-op funds as well, 1.5%. As you move up to the gold level, we're looking for a sales target of 1.5 million, and we're now upping the number of sales and pre-sales technical resources to 3 in each category, and now you get 3% co-op funds. So you can really see that we're starting to invest back in you as you've invested to us. Now, in addition to that, we do a lot of lead generation activities, including trade shows, webinars, and various other marketing campaigns. And for our silver and gold partners, we are sharing those leads with you. So this is definitely a big benefit of these levels. But for all levels, we have free certification training, and that's including sales, pre-sales, and actual service delivery people. Of course, I mentioned earlier that we'll recognize you on our website, and we'll work with you on go-to-market plans and literature and all those things that I mentioned. So this is just kind of a broad overview of what you can see in terms of our overall channel program. Now let's see, what does this mean in terms of profitability? What does this really boil down to for me as somebody who's going to be selling this product? Well, first of all of our partners get 35% off MSRP. So that's kind of the standard discount. But if you register a deal with our deal registration program and you're an authorized reseller, you'll receive 10 additional points. So you'll be at 45 points off of list. If you're a silver partner, you'll receive 20 additional points. So you'll be buying product at 55% off list. If you're a gold partner, you'll be buying product at an additional 30 points off the 35, so you'll be at 65 points off of list. Now think about buying the kinds of products that we're talking about at 65 points off of list, and what this means both in terms of your ability to deliver a very compelling price point to your customer and to generate significantly more margin than you are when you're battling it out with everybody else with the incumbents. So this is very compelling. I will mention again that this is specifically for deals that you have registered. So we believe that the discount that we're going to give you is basically tied to your ability to register that deal and give us visibility to it, and also allow us to help you protect that deal for your business. Okay, one of the things I hear quite frequently when I talk to partners out in the market is that they say, you know, Huawei has extremely high quality products. You have the people out there that can really deliver. And I think there's a lot of FUD about the fact that that isn't true, and I really want to dispel that right now and once and for all explain to you a little bit about the presence that we have. So this map gives you some visibility into our ability to support our channel. You can see all the gold stars represent R&D offices, and the Huawei logo represents our branch offices. Here I'm calling you from Cupertino, California, which is the Santa Clara location here in the Bay Area. But as you can see, we have offices spread all around the major cities in the United States, and these are just actual offices where we have people working and the ability to support you from a sales perspective. And the next thing I want to show you is just our field coverage in terms of field engineers. We have over 1,100 field engineers working around the clock to deliver the services themselves. And if that's the case, we'll collaborate with you and we'll work with you to deliver those co-branded services. And so that's basically you having sent people to technical training and being able to leverage your own services team to be able to deliver Huawei solutions. If you don't have certified guys in place, then what you can do is resell Huawei branded services, and that will be delivered by the Huawei team, and we'll go out there on site with your customers and be able to deliver those services for you. So either way, whether you want to deliver the services yourself and take the training and be able to do that, or if you want to resell our services, you can make good margin either way, and it really kind of comes down to your business model and kind of how you want to go to market. But those are the two options. So I do want to reiterate one more time about the Partner Summit. So this is going to be called ICT Nation. It's the Huawei Partner Summit. It's going to be held May 20th through the 22nd at the beautiful Cypress Hotel in downtown Cupertino. If you haven't been to this hotel, it's newly renovated, and it's just a fantastic property. And so we definitely want you to come and join us there. In addition to the actual summit itself, we are going to have a wonderful kind of excursion to the Mountain Winery. If you're familiar with the Bay Area, you may have been to the Mountain Winery. This is a venue that overlooks the entire Silicon Valley. It's a beautiful place up in the hills of Saratoga. We'll have wine tasting. And really what that's all about is just a chance to more informally network with your peers and with your Huawei channel team that will all be there to support you. This summit is going to include a very packed agenda that's going to range from a complete deep dive on the Huawei channel programs. We're going to be kicking off many new things at the Channel Summit, including our partner portal, where you'll be able to see the new online deal registration that we're going to be announcing there, as well as just a variety of sessions that deep dive into the various technology solutions that we talked about throughout this webinar, so you can get a lot more detail about these solutions and how to sell them. And we'll also have dedicated pre-sales training, technical and sales training, so that you can be more conversant in how to sell our solutions. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and open this up for questions now. I know that Mitch and Rob have been receiving many questions and trying to answer them in real time, but let's go ahead and ask a few of these questions to the open market. So Mitch, what's the first question that we got? And Rob, please feel free to jump in and answer some of these.
Well, you know, the very first question that I wanted to tackle publicly here was what are the steps to become an authorized reseller? I think that really kicks off the conversation well. It comes from a guy named Jose. So Rob, why don't you give us a rundown of what the steps are?
Great, thank you, Mitch. Yeah, getting started with Huawei is fairly simple, and we have an application process that can be found online, and basically is filling out the application, submitting it. We have a channel account manager organization, so you'll be contacted by a CAM. We'll review your application, and then upon acceptance, we have a reseller agreement, NDA agreement, and then we're all set. It's very simple. We are looking for strong resellers. We are being selective, and we are not out there trying to recruit 2,000 resellers right now. So so we like to get to know you, like to get to know what your strengths are and vertical markets that you address, and those are some of the important things we look for. But once we get you on board, we can start the cert classes up. So we have Huawei Certified Sales Professional course. We also have a Huawei Certified Sales Engineer course, which are free, and that'll get you started. And then we have some more advanced courses that you'll be eligible to take as you get more involved with Huawei. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that we make it easy for you to apply. We want to make sure that you understand that the initial investments that you have to make to become involved with Huawei are minimal compared to, I think, many of our competitors. And I think that we are, very supportive of new relationships. And as I said before, we're looking for strategic relationships, people involved in vertical markets, and we think that we've got a great program that you can make a lot of money on. So thank you.
Excellent.
Oh, great. Another one that came in was, will the sales training be available both live as well as through the new partner portal that's coming out? And the answer to that is yes. They will be available both live as well as through the online training. So you'll be able to go to the portal, take training, and actually get certified right there. So it's a great opportunity if you're busy and you don't have time to make it to a physical training. You can always do it online.
I see another question. It has to do with deal registration. So Rob, I know we touched on deal registration a little bit, but this question says, can you just dive a little bit deeper into the deal registration? Tell me about how it works and how I register deals.
Absolutely. I think that one of the most important things, or the most important thing, is that we are able to provide profitability in our channel. And so our number one goal is to be the most profitable channel out there for our resellers. And by providing proper margin, we think that we can do this through our deal registration program. And so if you register a deal with Huawei and you sign up into one of our programs, it'll allow you protection in that deal so that you can work with your customer, you can do a proof of concept, you can provide training, quoting, and things like that, while at the same time being protected with some fairly hefty additional discounts on deal registration. So for instance, if you're a gold partner and you can receive an additional 30%, and that 30% would allow you to be at 65%, of which you can quote, you can feel free that there isn't anybody going to get close to you because we're only going to do one deal registration per deal. So we think that an additional benefit of that is when you register the deal, we will support you 100%. So we are a channel organization. We will support our channels, and we think that deal registration will provide you the protection and also the profitability. So our products are actually priced, and as we've done some analysis, to hopefully be about 30% below our key competitors in the marketplace. And also we're hoping that our margins will probably be 20 to 30% higher. So I think the value prop there is that we can provide you with an extremely competitive product at high margins, and the quality of our products is unsurpassed, I think, in the industry. I think we've got a lot of case studies that we can back that up with, that we have high-quality products. So I think it's a winning combination, and we think that the profitability, the protection, and the support from Huawei will help you be successful in the market.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to just emphasize there that Rob mentioned is the support. by registering your deals, not only are you protecting your margin and all those things, but you're really giving us a heads up that, hey, I'm working on this deal and I might need some support. And so by having that deal registered, it really allows us to better respond to potential support issues that you may have in the quote process or in the proof of concept or whatever elements come up. So deal registration helps in a lot of ways, and so we really encourage our partners to take advantage of it.
Here's another one that came up, and this is probably for Rob. Do you have demo equipment available so that we can try your equipment before we commit to becoming a reseller?
Absolutely. I think if you work with your channel account manager, we can help you with any products that you need to supply for yourselves to test our equipment out in your own labs, in your own offices, and then we can also provide demonstration equipment to your end user customers for proof of concept and demonstration purposes. Fairly easy, fairly simple. We understand it's very important, and we have that demonstration inventory readily available.
Excellent.
Here's a question that came in that honestly I can't answer, but I know, Rob, you can. This is an easy one, but it's just outside my scope. How is your geography defined? I have several clients in the Caribbean. Is that North America? Do we deal with the Caribbean, or is that a different? Great. And I want to combine that with another one that I saw here, and the question was, is there a link where I can get more information about Partner Summit? And the answer is today, no, but it will be live next week. So you can look for an email from us, which will have a link to the Partner Summit portal. You'll be able to actually register there, and it'll have a lot of this detail about what's going to go on at the summit, along with an agenda. In terms of who should go, I think definitely anybody who is considering selling Huawei product, or anybody who is currently selling Huawei product. It's a great opportunity to learn about the product, to meet all the people. So everybody who you would be involved with will be there. We're going to have a bunch of different sessions going on, both technical and sales related and business related for that matter. So I think it would be interesting for a range of people. We'll also have training going on, again, both sales and technical training, so you can get certified right there. In addition to that, we'll have some pretty interesting stuff. We were talking about having a very, very interesting surprise guest come and talk about business. I think that would be of interest to just about anybody. We'll definitely have some analysts there sharing their opinions about the market, where things are going, and how technology is impacting it.
So this question was asking about sales versus technical. It sounds like both.
Absolutely. And in fact, generally, if you're a smaller partner, I would recommend sending two people, kind of a salesperson, business person, and a technical person. If you're larger and you can afford the time away from the office, I would send 2 or 3 people to get a breadth of experience.
So I'd also like to add that this is a great opportunity for us to get to know you to get to know us, and also just to spend some quality time. And I think we're very anxious to meet our resellers, meet new resellers, prospective resellers. So the invitation is really a wide open invitation. And one of the things that I think is interesting is that I think we line this up to really kind of have a good time, a lot of fun events. We're also going to have our first annual award ceremony, and so we've got some very interesting awards to some of our key channel partners for 2012 as we kick off our 2013 year here. But so we're very, very excited. We really would like you to attend. We really look forward to spending quality time with you.
Excellent. Mitch, I think this one's going to be for you, and it is, what is Huawei doing to generate leads for our partners?
A great question, Nick. What we do is we've really been investing in the U.S. market. This year is the time that we are going to really turn on the marketing engine, and you'll be seeing leads coming from us. So as you're all on this webinar now, we have a very lively webinar schedule. Roughly every other week we'll be having webinars. Most of them are targeted toward the end user community, which will bring out leads from that. We have a huge list in all the various market segments that we discussed, so we'll be generating leads that way. We're also attending a number of trade shows, including Interop coming up shortly. We were at RSA, and a whole slew of regional shows. I can't even tell you offhand how many, but it's in the 20 to 30 range of regional shows. Generally, those are focused on a specific vertical, be it education, be it retail, be it manufacturing, S&P. In addition to that, you'll see a pretty full-featured email program coming from us. We have our newsletter. We've been doing our newsletter now for almost a year, and you know, I wouldn't be surprised if you see some other advertising kind of marketing related activities going on as well. In addition to all of that, we have a full-time PR agency that is looking for press opportunities for us, be it some simple opportunity to be quoted, all the way up to full product reviews. So I think you're going to be seeing a lot from us over the next year, and I expect it to generate lots and lots of leads for you guys.
I think this is one of the key points we were making when we were talking about the globalization comment earlier, which is that Huawei is making a massive investment in the U.S. market, and as a result, the partners who get on board at this point are going to benefit from all the lead generation, the marketing campaigns, and all the presence that we're delivering into the market. So it's a great point, Mitch. Rob, this one could be for you. It's a question, I think there's a little bit of confusion between the sales and the pre-sales training versus the full-blown services training. And the question is, how long does it take to get certified, and what do I have to do to get certified to sell your product? So can you guys kind of explain the difference between just pre-sales training versus, I think we're going to bring Stuart in to answer this one. So just the difference between sales and pre-sales training versus full-blown post-sales delivery training.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. This is Stuart Shervin. I'm the Senior Channel Marketing Manager here at Huawei, and one of my charters is certification training. The certification training that we're offering, the sort of the pre-sales, the front-end training, is we've got a two-day program. The first day is really carved out for both the sales professional and the systems engineer, which gives you an introduction to Huawei, an introduction to our products, right? And then the second day of this two-day program, we split those two groups apart, and we have more of a business track, which is a how to sell and how to position Huawei. And then on the technical side, we've got more of a technical track on our products that would benefit that systems engineer when they're in that discussion with the customer. So it's a two-day program. It is free. It will be offered both in an instructor-led format as well as in an online self-paced format. And it's probably about a month away from it being ready. But we will have that out for you. You'll either see a webinar on it, or we will have an email communication on it, and it will also live on the partner portal.
Excellent, excellent overview. Thanks for joining in. We appreciate that. Sometimes we just grab these guys as they're walking by, and we pull them right in. So, Stuart probably wasn't prepared for that, but hey, that's the kind of company we are. We jump in when we have to. So, excellent. Mitch, I know you just received a ton of questions, and I just want to thank the audience for all the participation. This is excellent. Go ahead and ask the next question.
Yeah, we've received several questions around distribution and how do we deal with distribution? Who's your distributors? Are they trained? Do they stock? All those kinds of questions. So I think that it would be good to let Rob talk about that a little bit, and he'll give you all the ins and outs of buying our product through distribution.
Yeah, we have 3 distributors in the U.S. We have Synnex. We also have CTDI, and another company, Condra. And so we have we work with them. We've got them fairly well trained. We also have inventory available in the U.S. To be able to ship quickly. Naturally, there are some products that we don't have inventory for everything, and so sometimes we will have to go and we'll have to special order some of the products. But for the most part, we've got a very good distribution network. So as far as having, being available, as far as credit terms, and as far as having inventory available, pre-sale support, post-sale support, marketing programs, lead generation programs, and also, various other support that they give us. But we have a very, very strong distribution network in place for Huawei products in the U.S. right now.
Excellent.
Okay. And another question, and maybe this would be a good one for Stuart. Another question that just came in from Don is, is there specific training for just the storage piece? So I guess the question is, I'm kind of focused on storage, or I want to be focused on storage, and is there specific training I can get on the storage products?
Yes, so excellent question. And both in the pre-sales and the post-sales, we do address storage. In the pre-sales, we have an overview section on day one, which will benefit both the sales professional and the sales engineer. And on the second day, we also have a dedicated session that is technical in nature on storage. So you have it there in the pre-sales, and then also in post-sales, we've got the very hands-on, very detailed-oriented, I want to get dirty with the equipment type of training available to you. So yes, we have that covered on both ends.
Excellent. Yeah, great. I think for the most here's a question. I don't know if we have the answer to this one off the top of our heads, but it comes in from Jose, and he's asking when and where are the next training for certification available? And actually, that might be the partnership.
Yeah. So at this point, that training is currently being built. I'm building it. I'm working on it. But at this point, the first scheduled event for this will be at the Partner Summit. Now, we may have it ready ahead of time, and if we do, we'll make it available to you. But at this point, the first on the schedule delivery of this is at the Partner Summit.
All right. Well, great. That's it. I think for the questions, I think we've addressed basically everything that's come through. One thing I wanted to mention, and I know it's probably been heard through the various things we've said, but in looking at the opportunities in the channel today, I look at Huawei, and it is a gold mine. I cannot see another company that is as poised for success as we are. And so I would urge you to take a very close look at the product line, the quality of the product line, and the various opportunities that exist to disrupt the status quo. We have a product line that can compete with anything, and if you're one of those guys that I talk to all the time who are they're tired of losing deals on a few points of price to some incumbent vendor. With Huawei, you can come in, you can offer a very, very competitive price with a better product, and you can do so with better margins. And with a company that is absolutely credible. It's not a California startup company. It is an absolutely credible company, a worldwide powerhouse. So I cannot be more excited about the opportunity that Huawei presents to the channel. And I really urge everybody on the phone to take a very, very close look at what we can do for you.
Well, I'd like to thank everyone again for their participation today. We've enjoyed delivering this webinar to you, and we want to see all of you in Cupertino at the Cypress Hotel on May 20th through the 22nd, so be on the lookout for the formal invites to that, and we certainly encourage you to contact your local Huawei sales reps and be able to keep the communication flowing with us. But thanks again for your time today, and we will contact you very shortly for another webinar or email blast.